Welcome to The Missing Piece. I'm Mackenzie Davidson.
And I'm Lily Behl. Our goal here is to talk about mental health, a topic that was lost in the school system.
From a young age, schools have taught us to prioritize our physical health.
From worrying about the monkey bars because you could break your arm or getting your ankle taped before a game.
We have always been told to do what you can to prevent an injury. But when it comes to mental health, it seems that no one was taught about how important it is.
Yes, physical health is important, but we tend to put our mental health on the back burner.
Here at Beyond the Rock, we want to normalize talking about mental health and break the stigma surrounding it.
It can be hard, but you can't break barriers and grow without talking about uncomfortable topics.
We have a group of students here at RHS known as the Peer Listeners who strongly advocate for mental health and aren't afraid to start the hard conversations.
We got a chance to learn just a little more on what they do.
Peer Listening is a mental health awareness group
made up of 40 students working to break the stigma surrounding mental health.
The purpose of the Peer Listeners really is just meant to be listening.
Not only are they a listening ear, but they do many things around the school and district.
We do little meet and eats so that the foreign exchange students can meet other students at Rockford.
Along with going into classrooms to teach Be Nice lessons.
Which is suicide prevention program that helps students to identify signs of anxiety and depression as well.
Peer listening encounters are available at the Freshman Center and Senior Building at any time in the school day.
So those are one-on-one meetings when a student in the building just wants to talk to another peer, maybe doesn't want to talk to an adult.
And all our peer listeners have bios on our Instagram so people can know who's in the program and who they can request.
There's nothing you can't talk about.
Anxiety and depression, school stress, like problems at home, relationship problems, friendship stuff.
Grades 10 through 12 can apply.
There's an application that'll come out in the spring so you can apply to be in the program.
But not just anyone can get in.
We're looking for students that are very good at helping others and being selfless.
But once you do,
we do a training in the middle of September every year where students learn how to handle the encounters.
The Peer Listeners have been trained for the school year and are ready to work with Rockford to remind you.
It does help to talk to people. People do care. People do want to listen.
We are all excited for another school year of breaking the stigma.
Rockford is an extremely large school, and sometimes people are not heard as much as they should be.
Fortunately, the Peer Listeners have created a way for Rockford High School students to feel loved and included.
I never realized that I could talk to someone in my grade and be completely understood.
It truly is important here, Mackenzie.
Another big group here at Rockford is our student athletes. Sports have driven several high schoolers to struggle.
It's evident that a lot of high school athletes, not only in college but in high school as well, have struggled with these issues.
Being a part of the women's golf team here at Rockford, I have found some personal struggles, especially playing the game of golf.
We need to prioritize the pressure behind the mental game of sports. Our team talked to athletes here at Rockford. They brought out exactly why sports are not only physically but emotionally stressful.
A beloved pastime across the globe is sports. Whether it's watching or playing, it is sure to bring people together. Many idolize athletes for their athleticism and the elegance they exude in the sport, but this puts all eyes on the athletes at all levels, whether that's high school, college, or even professional athletes.
Shocking news that gymnastics superstar Simone Biles abruptly pulled herself out of the team finals to focus on her mental health.
Biles faced backlash when she opted out of the Olympic Games, but it gave a greater view on how pressure affects athletes and why the stigma of mental health needs to be broken.
I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport.
While the Olympics might be the highest platform in sports, other athletes, like NFL player Ben Braden, felt the heavy pressure on and off the field.
But it was also the most mentally intense program I've ever been with, and it definitely made me feel like I couldn't be in the NFL.
With the popularity of sports like football, many have expectations for the players. These expectations weigh heavily on athletes as they try to please their audience.
Oh, can I do this or can't I do this?
Am I going to mess up in practice? Am I watching enough film? Am I being a good leader that I can be?
I always had to step on a field and do the very best that I could do.
Being an athlete means you always have someone watching and analyzing you. And when an individual or a team has success, the number of eyes on the athletes grow.
Actually, growing up in a place like Rockford where there's so much tradition and so much success.
Oftentimes we play on a pretty big stage.
A lot of people come to our games and, letting them down is, definitely on your mind.
Being out there and feeling like you have to prove something.
I always felt like I was being judged.
The fear of failure or letting people down is ever so present in athletes.
That's, I set really high expectations for myself and our team. So, when me or the team doesn't meet the expectations, it's hard to come back from that.
I get really frustrated with myself, thinking that I didn't do my best, I didn't perform my best.
It comes down to the mindset that
you're either going to step up to the plate or you're not.
There will always be pressure on athletes, so finding a way to cope with the stress that is brought upon from the pressure is key.
It comes down a lot to positive self-talk.
A lot of people in the NFL, I would say especially in the last couple of years, have expressed how you talk to yourself is a huge key because you're going to be in really high pressure situations.
A lot of the top Olympians and All-Americans have found that, they've got a hobby in addition to their sport.
Whilst moving up the reins of high school athletics to their hopes of becoming a professional at their sport, the internal pressure to achieve their aspirations can cause a lot of conflict.
These kids have aspirations of winning a conference championship, and some, look at winning a regional championship, district championship, and even a state championship. There's individual pressures where kids, look at scholarships.
It was always like, oh crap, that was bad. No one's gonna recruit me. No college wants a player like that.
Athletes can take a step back at times by knowing there are other athletes going through the same stress they are.
People struggling with mental health is also just, you're not alone. I mean, some of the top athletes have been broken down mentally and had to figure out how to kind of recollect themselves.
Also, by having the mentality of winning and success isn't everything helps athletes.
They'll never hear me talk about watching the scoreboard, focusing on winning or losing a game.
That winning isn't everything. I mean, we all want to do that, but at the end of the day,
it's really truly about going out and giving their best.
There's so many more things that go into sport than just performances.
There's that pressure that whatever sport you're in has to come first. Definitely enjoy it. I mean, don't hold back in what you're doing in the sport, but also have that mentality with life. There's so much more to life than just sports, and you need to enjoy yourself.
By acknowledging the pressure that is put on athletes, we can take a step forward in breaking the stigma of mental health and appreciating athletes for all their hard work. This has been Elise Genter with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
It's important that we highlight something so necessary, and I hope that everyone can understand the importance in this topic.
I never realized the way sports can change so many lives, good and bad.
Just as much as sports, school takes an extremely hard toll on kids. Not only incoming freshmen worried about finding their classes, but seniors worried about what their future may look like.
A lot of high school seniors are focusing hard on prepping for college and later life. We spoke to a few students here at Rockford to figure out what steps it takes and how it affects their final year of high school.
Being a senior in high school isn't easy.
No way. Mason, I got in!
No way!
Especially when it comes down to moving on and becoming an adult.
Being a senior has affected my mental health in both good and bad ways. I think senior year brings on a lot of stress with college coming up and applying to colleges.
The students I was able to sit down and talk with specified that it's not about the workload. Ultimately, the thought of college ahead, that's the stressful part.
It's just really hard to want to stay doing what you're doing when college is so soon. I can only control what's in my power. I can't control what happens outside of me.
Many students here at Rockford have shown the signs of being stressed, and it's evident that people here are ready for what's ahead.
Staying focused has been really hard too, and I know a lot of people struggle with that, but I think that's probably the biggest challenge is just not getting senioritis so early in the year.
Many seniors not only struggle with senioritis, but mental illness as well, and it's a priority to take charge and handle these issues.
It's relieving to know that you only have 1 year left, but it's also kind of stressful to know that you only have 1 year left.
Spending time with family, friends, and loved ones is extremely important to Presley Workman as she prepares for college. For Maddie Hosford,
there was 5 minutes left of class and I was like, I can't do this.
Depression has gotten the best of her in high school, but she's excited to head off to college and start a new chapter of life.
It's just this very, very stereotypical, oh, you're going to love your senior year. it's so fun. Like, get ready, like, just push through your high school years, like, push through sophomore and junior year and just get to senior year, because I promise it's going to be better, and it's not.
It's important that seniors don't give up and persevere through the last few months. And take care of your own health as you finish out your senior year of high school. This has been Mackenzie Davidson with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
With seniors, including myself, heading into college or off into the workforce, it can be physically and emotionally hard.
This was incredible to hear people share their stories and how much stress this causes. I'm not ready for senior year next year.
I was there once too, but I am excited to attend college in the fall and start this new chapter of my life.
Mental health isn't talked about enough, especially in sports, school, and life. It is important to bring awareness to these topics.
Today on The Missing Piece, we hope you enjoyed learning more about mental health here at Rockford.
This is just a start to the path of breaking the system. There is still so much more that we need to accomplish to break the stigma around mental health.
This has been Mackenzie Davidson
and Lily Behl on The Missing Piece.